So I've gotten several requests to do an update of the Malone tuning and the new exhaust on how the car performs and sounds and whatnot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do two types of tests doing the same thing, but one, I'm gonna put it in the drive mode, see how the car performs, and then I'm gonna put it in the S mode, which is sport mode, and see how the car performs. So if you don't know already, when you put it in drive mode, it's more like the econ mode, so it kind of is more of like for fuel efficiency, especially if you're like city driving and whatnot. And then S mode is like for the sport, so that's like you don't care about fuel mileage. So pretty much what D does, it does the RPMs, like it changes gears at a lower RPM, and then when you have it in sport mode, the RPMs go a little bit higher, and so it kind of costs a little bit of fuel efficiency, which is not a big deal, honestly, especially if you're doing a lot of freeway driving. Sports mode and D mode really doesn't make a huge difference, but if you're like in the city, you'll definitely burn up more fuel if you're in sport mode than in D mode. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and start the car and see what the car sounds like from inside the cabin. I don't know if the speaker will be able to hear it, but let's go ahead and turn it on real quick. Alright, let's hear how it sounds. So from what I can remember when I had the stock exhaust, it was definitely a little bit more quieter, like you really couldn't hear it. But with this new exhaust, because I got, again, just a reminder, I have the catless downpipe, the DPF delete, and pretty much I don't have the muffler, the big old suitcase muffler in the back. I just have just a single little muffler to help dampen the cabin noise, which actually works really well. So right now I have it in drive in the D mode. Right now I'm just doing just normal driving. Try to see where the RPMs change gears. So this is normal driving. Don't know if the microphone can pick up the inside cabin, which isn't really bad at all, actually. So that's pretty much the inside of the cabin, and when I have it in drive mode, I'm gonna go ahead and switch it into sports mode and see what the difference is like. So I went ahead and switched it into sports mode. Again, back to just like regular normal driving through the neighborhood. And now we're gonna see where the RPMs, how high they go before they change gears. So I don't know if you can see that, but it's just right above 2,000. So if you're noticing, these RPMs go higher before they change gears. And I'm just going nice and easy. I'm not flooring it right now. As far as the sound of the inside of the cabin, it's not that noisy. It's a little bit louder than stock, but for me, it doesn't bother me at all. I actually like that sound. So right now I'm on D mode, and this test we're just gonna do a normal acceleration. No need to floor it, just a normal acceleration. I'm gonna start here at 20. See if it can. The glare is just wrong right now, so I'm gonna start here at a 20 mile per hour start. Again, it's in D mode. All right, here we go. Just a normal acceleration. Alright, so the next test is going to be again another normal acceleration, but now we're going to do it in sport mode. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the camera so you can kind of see the dashboard. Alright, Again, normal acceleration in sport mode. Here we go. In this next test, I'm going to do an acceleration test. And the first test is going to be, I'm going to have it in drive mode. Then we're just going to see how well it accelerates in drive mode. The next one will be have it in S mode. So I'm going to go from a rolling start at 30 miles an hour. And then we're going to start. And again, the road's flat ground so you can see ahead of me. Alright. At 30, here we go. Now the next test is going to be again the same thing, but now we're in S mode, sport mode. And again, flat ground again, and starting at 30, here we go. So right now I have it on cruise control to 75. Right now I'm just going to do the miles per gallon. Pretty much the rating is, see if you can see that. That is 42.9 miles to the gallon right now. How I am driving on cruise control. And as you can tell, the road's pretty flat, straight, and I'm getting really good miles per gallon. So right now so right now this top one is your average, and then this is your current one right here on the bottom. So don't ignore the top average because I was flooring it and whatnot before this. So usually on flat grounds, and as far as altitude, if that makes any sense, we're about 5,090 feet above sea level. So that kind of gives you an idea how high altitude we are. And then, you know, because the higher you are, the thinner the air is. But with those turbos, it really doesn't affect you too much like an NA kart is affected by altitude. So just driving wise, 75 miles an hour set to cruise control, you notice a huge difference in your MPG, which is the whole reason why I decided to go with the Malone tuning. Right now I'm in a slight downhill, hence the up to almost 60 miles per gallon. But it's pretty much in the high 30s, low 40s if you keep it on consistent, your velocity. I like it. I have no complaints. It definitely is a huge night and day difference from the stock tune with all the emissions stuff that comes with the car compared to the Malone Tune Stage II with all the deletes. It's just, it's definitely pretty cool to see how much you're saving on fuel. Fast forward to the future. Right now I'm driving from Colorado down to Texas. So on this portion of the reviews on the fuel economy on the Malone Stage II tune. So right now I'm halfway. I don't know if you can see that. I am halfway on the tank right now. And so far I've driven 382 miles, 0.7 miles so far on a half tank. And I still got a little ways to go. So right now I've been averaging about As you can see, 29.4 mpg. This has been all freeway driving. All of it has been freeway with the exception of maybe 10 miles. I actually had to get off the freeway because there was an accident on the freeway, so I took a little detour, so there my speed kind of dropped down a little bit. But other than that, this whole trip has been all freeway right now, with the exception of when you pass through some smaller towns, you go a little bit slower. But once you're out in the open road, definitely go a lot, up to 75 or 80 miles an hour, depending on what the speed limit is. But so far, it's been pretty darn good. I haven't fueled up yet, so I don't plan on fueling up until, further along the road. So just to give you an idea, right now, I have, what this thing is telling me, I have 335 miles left on the tank. And so far I've driven 384.2 miles. So I'll let you do the math of how much estimated I have left I can drive before having to fuel up. So I'll get back to recording once I fuel up to let you know how many miles I have left and where I am on the gauge on the fuel tank. So yeah, so far everything's been good. And also forgot to mention, I know I keep on rambling a lot here, but I've been using the AC on and off, so the AC has not been on the whole time. I turn it on a little bit, then I turn it off, turn it back on again, and then out again, if it matters. So right now, my altitude right now is about 3,900 right now. So when I started in Colorado, it was about 5,000 feet of elevation. Once I got through New Mexico, it bumped up to like 6,000 feet. And now that I'm in Texas, it's dropped down a little bit. So I'm dropping down in elevation as I keep going on. Alright, so that's this portion of the economy review, and I'll get back to you when I do my first fuel up. Alright, so like I said, I'm here to fuel up. I'm actually at my first fuel up spot. So right now I made it all the way, if you can see it. Just a little past the red line, I guess. What's that? What would that be considered? 1/8 of a tank left, I guess. So far from one fuel up, I've driven 626.4 miles, and the thing on the MMI or whatever the screen is says I have about 75 miles left, and then an average about 29.4 miles. It has been going like around, like I said, about 75 miles an hour to 80 miles an hour. And right now, according to my phone's GPS, I have about 62 miles left. Even though I have 75 left on the little screen that shows me, but might as well just not chance it and just fuel up right now. So that's pretty much the fuel efficiency with the Malone tuning stage 2 with the deletes and whatnot. But so far I'm really pleased with what I'm getting as fuel mileage and whatnot. So now I'm gonna go back into time and go ahead and finish off this review. So pretty good for an SUV, and how much this SUV weighs, the Q7 weighs, that is dang good miles right there. And especially that's another cool thing to go with diesel. But as far as I know, I don't think Audi's making any more diesel vehicles to the US, well, with newer models. But yeah, I definitely recommend it, but it's your choice. You be the judge of that. And I think that's all I got, really. Again, thank you for watching this review on the Malone Stage II tune, and also with the delete kit installed. And hope you guys have a great day.